Hello everyone. Are you still saying hello? How are you? I'm fine. Thank you. Like everyone else, then your conversations are way too ordinary. What if I tell you with few smarter phrases you can instantly sound more confident, professional, and naturally fluent? So today let's replace those overused phrases with classy, modern, and powerful alternatives. When you meet someone for the first time, it is very polite to say, "Hello, nice to meet you." However, you can modify this sentence when you're working in a very professional area and you're meeting someone professionally. You can say, "It is pleasure to meet you," or "It is a pleasure to meet you." However, if you are, in contact with a person over calls or over emails since a very long time, and now you are meeting them after a long time, you can say, "It is wonderful to finally connect with you in person." It is wonderful to finally connect with you in person. On the other hand, if you are meeting someone casually, maybe your friend, relative, or maybe one of your friends introduced you to their friends, you can say, "It is lovely to meet you." "It is lovely to meet you," or "I am glad to meet you." Another vital part of the conversation, which usually comes after "Hello, it's nice to meet you," it is "How are you?" How are you? This phrase is very overused and monotonous, and it is oftenly used in both professional and casual conversation. However, when you are meeting someone professionally in your work area, you can use the phrase, "How have you been keeping?" How have you been keeping? Or if you don't want to ask this question and rather just want to say a positive statement, you can say, "I trust everything is going well at your end." I trust everything is going well at your end. On the other hand, when you are meeting someone casually, maybe your friends or relatives, you can rather ask, "How is everything?" Or if you want to shorten it up, you can say, "How's life going?" Or just "How's life?" Okay, we have discussed some great alternatives of "How are you?" But what about the responses? We usually respond with the phrase, "I'm fine, thank you," which is again very monotonous, boring, and overused in both professional and casual world. But I would suggest if you are meeting someone professionally in your work life, you can say, "I'm doing quite well, thank you," or "I'm doing pretty well, thank you." On the other hand, when you are meeting someone very casually, maybe your friends or relatives, and you want to respond in a very casual manner, you can just say, "Ticking along." Ticking along. Now, what is the meaning of ticking along? It's just "I'm going with the flow." And second phrase that you can use is "same old, same old." It means nothing new has happened in your life and everything is that used to be earlier. Same that used to be earlier. Another phrase that you can use in a very casual manner in a casual conversation, it is, "It couldn't be better." It couldn't be better. Okay, you use this phrase when your life is going pretty well, very smooth and very good. You say, "It couldn't be better." However, if your life is not going that good, it is going awful, and you really want your life to be good, you can say, "It could be good," or "I could be good." So if anyone asks you, "How are you?" or "How have you been keeping?" you can say, same old," or "Ticking along," or "It could be good." Another phrase which is usually asked more in casual conversations and sometimes in professional conversations, and that phrase is, "What work you do?" or "What do you do?" Okay, so when you are having a professional meeting somewhere outside and a person just comes to you and asks you, "What work do you do?" or "What do you do?" just understand they're trying to ask, "What do you do professionally?" or "What do you do for a living?" Okay, so these two are more of a modified versions of asking, "What do you do?" or "What work do you do?" When you are having a conversation very casually with a person, you can ask this question in more of a casual manner. You can ask, "What work are you doing at the moment?" or "How's your work life going?" Another important questions which usually you encounter in interviews and professional meetings and sometimes in casual conversations also, it is, "Where do you live?" Where do you live? Okay, when you're having a conversation professionally, okay, with maybe your HR, your manager, your boss, or anyone from your professional work area, you can ask them or they can ask you a modified question of this form, which is, where do you hail? Where are you based? Or where do you put up? Or if you want to sound casual but also classy at the same time, you can ask this question, whereabouts do you live? Whereabouts do you live? Okay, so these are some modified questions of the phrase, where do you live? Okay, so the phrases are, where do you put up? Where are you based? Where do you hail? And whereabouts do you live? Another question which is asked in more of a casual manner and sometimes professionally, it is, would you like to? Okay, when someone wants to ask you for something, they usually ask you, would you like to have a cup of coffee or would you like to go for a movie tonight with me? Okay, so more of a casual manner, you can just modify this question and ask very casually to the person you want to take somewhere. You can ask them, would you fancy having a cup of coffee with me? Or would you fancy going out for a movie with me? On the other hand, when you want to ask this question in a professional area, in a professional conversations, you can use the alternative phrase, are you keen on? Are you keen on? For example, are you keen on attending this workshop on Saturday? Or are you keen on joining this discussion? Now let's move on to the last phrase, which is usually used when you have just delivered an idea, maybe professionally, or you said something to a group of people or maybe a one person very casually. And that phrase which we use is, do you agree? Okay, when you are working in a professional area and when you have just put across to your idea in a professional meeting, you can say, what are your thoughts? Or what is your take? Okay, maybe you can use this phrase in a sentence like, I'm planning to shift this meeting to next Saturday. What is your take? Or you can say, I'm planning to conduct a workshop next Wednesday. What are your thoughts? That's it. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from me. And don't forget to connect with me in the next video.